All right. I watched. I was programming a lot, and by the way, I put up like a week ago some example articles of organization for the PDSLLC, but I didn't make a video. I haven't had a chance to make a video. Anybody that was poking around that website could have found it. One of the slides now has some proposed text for that. Um, and I was cleaning up some other things, and it was a good time for me to listen to all the George Zimmerman witness statements that I could, because they have the audio, because this is Florida, and they have just crazy disclosure, public disclosure of evidence rules. They didn't include George's statement, and they didn't include the 911 call that's already been out there, that they're already released. Or I don't know if that was, I didn't think that was leaked. I thought that was an early release of theirs. Whatever, they didn't put it in the official dump. So, I want to make clear, even though I said this the whole time for people, because I know you get your tunnel vision. You guys just think this is about the race thing. Did he kill him because he's black? And I said from the beginning, it's not the main question to me, and I don't think he killed him because he was black. I don't think he thought, here's an innocent black guy, and I will hunt him down and kill him because I love all black guys, especially the innocent ones. They make them look good, or whatever. He wasn't thinking like that. He was thinking TSA thoughts. Right, and whoever's the lowest in society, whoever you have to wrap your paranoid mind around is looking. Paranoid mind is looking for something to wrap it around. And yeah, I think the racism comes in that being a teen. People have said that, it's going to be profiling. Yeah, it's going to be something. With the last movie the guy saw or whatever. Unless he trains himself to be analytic like a detective ought to be, he's going to be disproportionately reacting to some kind of profiling. That's not the worst thing in the world for Neighborhood Watch, assuming they realize that the level of their skill set as detectives, going with just crude profiling, does not rise to the quality needed to justify deadly force. And this is the case of that. It appears to me that's what this is a case of. And I think that this sensibility, this we have to be security busybodies or else, oh my God, do you want to be beat up? Do you want to be robbed? Do you want to be blown up in a plane? Take your shoes off, for God's sake. Do you want to be blown? I don't want to be blown up in a plane, but I wouldn't mind risking it if I don't have to live in a little nanny state situation. And all these rugged coming from the libertarian conservative side, they just don't see what I see. But this is the TSA sensibility promoted to now they can kill you for not taking off your hoodie. He ran by me, didn't take off his hoodie. Let me explain what I criticize George about from my current picture of him. And it could be wrong, right? We go to court. It's not because the court comes up with the right conclusion. There's juries and all kinds of shit involved. But the evidence that they put up that you also get to peruse as the public is a higher quality thing. We will find out. We can argue about whether OJ is guilty or not, but we got all this evidence that pretty much shows one way or the other. Even if it takes some interpretation, in the end, we got evidence better than what if we just argued it on the net and had not gone to court. All right. So I think that in this case, you have something, this security sensibility. And the cost of it, would you want this, and what if you get beaten up? Look, if I'm the Neighborhood Watch guy, and I'm not, I'm a country enough boy that people have started fights and tussles with me, and I've ended them. I can't really remember ever fighting a full-on blown fight, but I can remember catching people's fists on the way to my face and stopping it that way. And I fired guns, love guns, and I had that gun in my pocket. See, I don't think having a gun in your pocket, if having a gun in your pocket makes you just brave enough to sneak after somebody in the dark, that's dangerous, because that's not how you really want to use a gun. A gun is a sort of open weapon. It works most ethically if that's, if it's not concealed, if it's just known. It's a distance weapon. You know, you don't get within arm's reach of a guy that you plan to control the situation with the gun. You know, or if you do, it's in the light, or if you do, you're ready to jump out of that arm's distance. So, for example, when George thought that Trayvon was coming to check him out, he must be on drugs. Why didn't he just? It's like, it looks at that point that Trayvon ends up walking past him, right? Either then or right before. I mean, but so how about this? How about the security watch guy, neighborhood watch guy, says, "Hey, how you doing? You live around here?" "Well, why are you bugging me?" He says, "Well, I'm the neighborhood watch and I don't recognize you." Right in the open, right there. Well, the cops already on the way. Somebody fixed the timeline, I guess, if that's not true. But, you know, I'm thinking about this from the point of view. Then the cops are on the way. He'd even delay him, and then the cops could talk to him and search him while he's living. You know, you go lurking into the dark after a criminal. You need to be a fisticuff guy or have a billy club. You know? I mean, there's a reason the dispatcher was like, "Are you following him? Oh, we don't need you to do that." Why do you think he knew right off the bat? He didn't know anything about the situation, but he's like, "Oh, we don't need you to do that." And somebody can end up dead in those situations. Okay, so you either get the training to understand why you would have a billy club, to understand why you would confront him in the light instead of following him down without identifying yourself. Either take enough coursework, you know, or at least realize that you don't know enough to be Mr. Deadly Force Charles Bronson. Okay. So that's my point. And does it come down to racism? Yeah, I guess not in the way you guys are talking about. You're all like, well, if he killed him because he was suspicious of a teenager, if he killed him because he was paranoid about the break-ins, that's okay. But if you just use that as an excuse, no, he didn't just use that as an excuse. I was listening to all of these people. It's interesting. One of the citizens and one of the witnesses is one of the 3 board members of their homeowners association. Had things to say about George. It was interesting. There's that woman that says there was the guy in a white shirt was on top, and then there's, well, anyway. It does look like the fight, I think, started up at the T, at least. So that's interesting. But it sure didn't take very long. Forget where I was going with that. Seems like there was... so, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, to me, this is about this petty little vigilantism, and all you wimpy ass, non-libertarian, non-rugged Americans are just like, yeah, I'd want to take my shoes off so that, you know, we don't die in a plane wreck. And then you get in your goddamn car where more people die a year than die when you leave your shoes on getting onto a plane. You fucking do the math. What do you guys think? And then whoever I argue, somebody either thinks I'm some sort of right-wing fascist, or the right-wing factions, or you're just a liberal hip, you just want to, you like the terrorists, it's why you want to keep your shoes on getting onto a plane. What's in your shoes? Guys, we're going to have to get some educations.